What a big win for Colorado State today, Saturday, September 10th. The home opener, the farewell to Hughes tour here at Sunny Lubick Field at Hughes Stadium, and what a win it was. You know, it was an ugly win, as Coach Bobo said after the game, but a win's a win, right? And Colorado State Ram fans will take it, Mike Bobo will take it, and starting quarterback Faton Bauta will take it, as will Colin Hill, the redshirt freshman, who is no longer a redshirt after this game. That's right, the big storyline is, sure, Colorado State, they earned their first win of the year, and that's great for Colorado, and I mean for Coach Bobo and for everybody else involved with the program, especially Colorado State Rams fans, which didn't really show up this week to the tune of only 20,673, with a sellout being 32,500 here at Hughes Stadium. It was a sad showing by the fans, especially by the students, but the ones that were here in attendance got to see a 23-14 win. They also got to see Colin Hill's red shirt burned by Bobo. Now, Faton Bauta, he was terrible. He even said that he wasn't hurt when Colin Hill was inserted into the game in the fourth quarter because he couldn't throw the ball. That was easy to see by anyone that was watching the game. He finished 6 of 18, Bauta did, for only 82 yards passing, and one of those was a 45-yard bomb to Elroy Masters, which was complete right before the end of the first half. Now that play led to a field goal after Wyatt Bryan missed the first two. The third one was a charm, as Bryan said after the game, and the Rams took that 6-point lead into halftime. Now, the defense was much better in this game than we saw all week last week in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. In the second half alone, they had 7 straight stops to kill UTSA drives, even though UTSA was completing a lot of third down and longs. They were converting those, and to the tune of 8 of 18 they finished on the year, but they didn't finish those drives with points, which was key. So Colorado State was able to hold on to that 6-point lead into the fourth quarter, which is when we finally saw Colin Hill come in. There was no Nick Stevens, but there was Colin Hill today, and Hill played okay. His very first play, he came in and immediately completed an 11-yard pass to Elroy Masters, which drew oohs and ahs from the crowd because it was the best pass that Colorado State Rams fans or anyone in attendance had seen all day, besides that 45-yarder, which Masters made a superb play on right before the half. Hill then, a few plays later, on a third down, almost threw an interception. It was dropped by the UTSA defender. It should have been an interception, and he showed his greenness there, his inexperience, if you will, as a true freshman, but he didn't give up. A couple of drives later, Hill completed another pass, a 15-yarder, and those were his only 2 completions of the day. He went 2 of 6, and he played decently. Now, at the end of the game, things really got wacky because you had Hill start the drive, then Bauta came in, ran some plays, handed the ball off a few times, and Bryant finally kicked a 48-yard field goal, to put the Rams ahead, the eventual winning score of 23-14. Now, after the game, head coach Mike Bobo said he does not have a starter for next game. He expects Faton Bauta to play. He also gave us a little bit of insight saying that Colin Hill and Nick Stevens split reps with the number 2s, the second group of wide receivers, linemen, etc., throughout the entire week, and that he and the coaching staff thought that Colin Hill had a better week than Nick Stevens, which is why we didn't see the redshirt junior Nick Stevens. Bobo also specified that Stevens is not out of this quarterback battle by any means. It's still a three-man race, a 3-headed battle, as Bobo said Stevens has to just compete. Hill's clearly competing, Bauta's competing, but neither of them are being as consistent as they need to be. Hill, though, has the best arm. It's clear to say now that we've actually been able to see him in live action of any of the 3 quarterbacks. He's got the best accuracy, the best timing, and the strongest arm out of the 3. And so that'll be interesting moving forward. Who's going to play? I would expect Bobo to play multiple quarterbacks next week against UNC, another 2 p.m. kickoff here at Hughes Stadium. Then obviously this is the farewell tour to Hughes, and so Bobo's hoping that the fans really show up for this next game, as only Again, 20,673, a sad showing for the first of the Farewell to Hughes tour. But nonetheless, Colorado State earns its first victory of the season. They're finally on a high note, and like Fatan Bauta said, they're going to celebrate this one. Going forward, he believes he's the starting quarterback. He always is going to continue to carry himself as the starting quarterback. And when we asked him after the game if this is going to change anything with him and Colin Hill, he said, nope, Hill is still going to be his little brother, and he's going to continue to teach him as they move forward, and that this competition can continue to push everyone in the QB competition to be better, which clearly they need to be. They were, again, terrible at throwing the ball. I think they finished with 73 total yards passing. They had 220 yards rushing on the day, which was definitely a highlight. There was Dalen Dawkins, who hurt a hamstring, he said, in the second quarter, but went back in and played. Izzy Matthews played better. We saw him run his best of the year. He was still a little hesitant, especially early in the game, and then later he had a couple outside runs, including his touchdown run. We saw some Marvin Kinsey, which the freshman needs to run below or behind his pads, as Bobo said. We even saw some Dietrich Clark. So Colorado State is not going to give up. They're not going to stop in trying to figure out things that are going to work. End arounds, they did play actions, QB keepers with Bauta, or just throwing the ball with Hill or with someone, hopefully consistently. But now, after week 2, Colorado State has won a game. They're 1-1, and they defeated the UTSA Roadrunners 23-14. It wasn't an easy win. Everyone that watched the game last year against UTSA knew it was not going to be easy, but it's a win. A win is a win, even if it's ugly. So for now, I'm signing off for 5280 Sports Network, and I'll be back next week as Colorado State hosts the UNC Bears. Thanks.